Let's go. Hakari's finally been introduced in the latest episode of Jujutsu Kaisen. We got a video by Zonin. Hakari is finally revealed in the anime. All right.
So in the beginning of the episode here, we're like quickly wrapping up Principal Yaga's storyline, I guess you could say. I mean,
Okay.
this stuff comes back a little later in this season, but for the most part, this is the end of it. And the long and the short of it is
The
that
funny part is most of the anime watchers or just most of the fandom like already knows everything, bro. Like the JJK spoilers like 1 to 2 years ago, it was just like, bro, there were so many people just watching spoilers and it's just crazy how popular Jujutsu Kaisen has been.
Gojo was more or less keeping Yaga safe, I guess, because the higher-ups just didn't like
Yeah,
him this whole
yeah.
time. Because now that Gojo's in the prison realm, he's not around anymore, they're showing their true intentions, which is like they
Yep.
were suspicious of him and kind of scared, I guess, because of his curse technique and them not understanding how it works, how he can like create cursed corpses the way that, Panda is. Because Panda is such an anomaly, being that he's completely autonomous, has his own cursed energy, because normally a cursed corpse would have to feed off of the cursed energy of the user, such as Yaga. Panda is like his own thing. So they don't like that. And they're also saying that like, oh, because you could do this, you could just make a whole army and then you could come after us or whatever, which obviously he's not
Bro,
doing.
but come on. He ain't doing that though, but it is crazy to see the capabilities of his technique going that far.
I don't even know how he became the
Potentially going
principal
that
in the
far.
first place, if they were so suspicious and didn't like him this whole time, but that's besides the point. Anyway, this just explains why he was suddenly
Who knows?
shoehorned into that whole big thing at the end of season 2. It also turns out that Panda was captured because they're trying to use him as bait to lure Yaga out, because Yaga was in hiding since the end of season 2. We're seeing Kusakabe releasing him because Kusakabe is indebted to Yaga because Kusakabe's sister's son died, and
Wait,
Yaga
who is
used
this? What?
it
Hold
to
up.
Yaga because Kusakabe's sister's
Who is this person? What? This is Kusakabe's sister's son? Wait, I never remember seeing this person like at all. Who is this?
son died, and Yaga used like his cursed corpse making ability to take
What?
his soul or fragments of it or whatever and put it into a cursed corpse, so it kind of mimics the
Okay.
son in a way, although it's not
Wait.
literally like a facsimile of him, but it's
Okay,
more
I
or
get it.
less
I get it. But is that really a good coping strategy? Like isn't that unhealthy though? Like creating a fake son for somebody? Like shouldn't they like cope naturally and just kind of get over the death? Like is this healthy?
representing his soul to some extent, and that made his sister happy. It's just showing that, yeah, Yaga's a great guy. It's supposed to make us really sad because he's eventually going to get killed by Gakuganji in this episode. Gakuganji essentially just sent by the higher-ups to be their executioner. He doesn't want to do this, but he's kind of forced to. He is like a company man. He's not like an evil character. He's like a great character. That's more or less been his trajectory throughout this series, which is why
Fair enough.
Panda, winds up not attacking him, because he's like, I just see you as the knife that landed on him, because that's all he is. Also, as
Wait, what? I mean, okay, I guess. Okay, I see where Panda's going, but I'm still a little bit shocked like he wouldn't lash out.
Yaga is dying, he explains to Gakuganji like how the cursed corpse stuff works and how he made Panda and how you need like 3 souls and you need to put them all together, and then 3 months later you get Panda or whatever and self-sustaining curse energy. The 3 souls is important because it's integral to Panda's character, and this is going to be explored later on once Panda has like his final moment in the series. Spoilers, it's going to happen later on. I don't know if it's going to happen before part 1 is over or go into part 2, but it's going to happen eventually. So yeah, Yaga is dead, and this whole storyline just seems...
Oh yeah, bro, this was effed up, bro. Damn, even pandas cry. It just hits different, and obviously not because of the panda part, but it's just like, it's just effed up, and just seeing him cry, it was just effed up, bro. Like,
It's odd to me. It's just out of kind of left field, but I
Poor
don't know, maybe
Panda.
you guys feel different. But yeah, Panda's upset because of it, and it explains why Panda shows up later on in the Hakari Fight Club thing. Speaking of that, we're cutting over to Yuji and Megumi because they're going to find Hakari. That was like their mission that they were sent to do from Tengen. We saw in the previous episode that Maki was sent to the Zenin clan to get cursed tools, but she wound up just slaughtering them all in the process. But Yuji...
she pulled him and Itachi Uchiha on the Zenin clan.
Yuji and Megumi, a little different. They're just trying to recruit Hakari to help them in the culling game. Hakari is one of the third years. It was also hyped up in season 1 as saying that he's nearly as strong as Akotsu or even stronger than him. That remains to be seen. But Yuji and Megumi, using some slick talking, are able to get into the fight club here. And they have to be incognito because what Hakari is doing is illegal in multiple ways. Not even just, laws of, Japan, but also laws of Jujutsu society, because it involves sorcerers. And there's like regular civilians in the audience, and they're not supposed to see Jujutsu stuff. So they can't represent Jujutsu High coming there, because then Hakari is going to be like, oh, they're trying to shut me down. So Megumi infiltrates in his own way, and then Yuji winds up going through like the fight club itself. And we see him encountering Panda in the fight club, who is also infiltrated at trying to get to Hakari, but Hakari doesn't want to talk to Panda because he knows who Panda is. It's not like Panda could go incognito, he's a freaking panda. And while they're play fighting, putting on a show for everyone, Panda explains to Yuji what's going on with Hakari, and Yuji's performance in this fight is impressing Hakari enough to where he wants to meet with him. And this is where we're like fully introduced to him in the series for the first time. And we see that he's with another third year student from Jujutsu High by the name of Kirara. Now, this character is, I'm pretty sure, trans. It's mentioned by Megumi when he's talking to Panda in a flashback here that they're a boy. But as we see, they are depicted as a girl. So they are trans, I guess. This is like super polarizing, because depending on how hardcore you get into this fandom, there's going to be people that are saying that, well, if you look at the translations of the manga and what Gege says and what the characters say, this character isn't trans. They're just a boy that appears to be
it doesn't even matter at this
point.
But,
I'm not really going to get into the weeds of this. They're trans.
I mean, Kirara isn't like a main character. It doesn't even matter.
Okay, going by American standards, this is a trans character. So if you disagree or you want to get angry, let me know in the comments, please. But anyway, Kirara also has some kind of curse technique that warps space to some extent and is keeping Panda from getting to Hakari. We're going to find out more about Kirara's overly complicated curse technique in like a couple episodes, I guess. And speaking of overly complicated curse techniques, that also applies to Hakari as well. Although we're not really going to find out what that is until, I think, part 2 of season 3, or maybe towards the end of season 3, part 1. We'll see. Okay. But Kirara leads Yuji to Hakari, and they wind up talking, and Yuji's trying to like BS Hakari into thinking that he's just some random sorcerer, that he's not from Jujutsu High or whatever. And Hakari is like speedrunning the audience with who he is as a character. He loves passion.
So we got like maybe like the backstory load in, or
whether it be people trying to better themselves or whatever, and it ultimately comes down to like everything equates to gambling in some way. Not literally like gambling at a casino, but just you risking or taking a chance on something is just.
Wait, what do you say? Like loads of women have dumped me because they hate gambling?
But just you risking or taking a chance on something is just equated to gambling. It's also why he's like running this fight club and why he enjoys doing what he's doing. And he winds up offering Yuji a drink, and Yuji's like, yeah, I'll take anything except alcohol, because I'm underage. And he was like, oh, I thought you wouldn't care about that, but whatever. Gojo couldn't handle his liquor either. And then Yuji, trying to stay undercover here, is like, yeah, who's Gojo? Because, like we said, Yuji figures out very quickly once they get to the fight club that he has to be incognito here, but he's being a little too incognito, because Hakari points out that, like, well, every single sorcerer out there knows who Gojo is. He's like, if you're a sports fan, you know who Michael Jordan is. And also, he was getting a call from Kirara while this was happening. And Kirara is only going to call if something bad is happening, or something's out of whack. So off screen, something is going on with Kirara, maybe with Panda, maybe with Megumi, because we don't know what's going on with them yet. So that right there was tipping off Hakari, which led him.
Honestly, even like pretending not to know who Gojo is kind of just stupid. Like everybody should know him
to question Yuji about Gojo, which gave it away. And then we see glimpses of what Hakari's curse technique is. We see like these train doors trying to slice Yuji. This is really interesting, but at the same time, don't really look too much into it, because I think this is like the only time we ever see Hakari use his ability this way. I could be wrong. Maybe he uses it one other time like this, but this is not indicative of what Hakari's true.
Yeah, like I've seen the manga spoilers, and that's just not really his real curse technique or the way he utilizes it.
Technique is, which is really funny, but I guess it's just a little appetizer to what it actually is. We're not going to see it soon. Many episodes from now, we will see it. And that's going to be a really fun episode. I'm really curious
Yeah.
how they're going to go about explaining it because it's much easier explained in manga format, but I'm getting ahead of myself here.
Honestly, I felt like it. Yeah, it's not too complicated, I guess. It's a little bit
Hakari's
complicated.
on to Yuji, and that's where the episode ends. Let me know what you thought
Okay.
about it.
Well, hey, man. Honestly, I still haven't watched it yet, but obviously I know the manga spoilers. I was like a heavy JJK fan. I kept up with the manga spoilers like years ago. I was watching like Broken Ronin on YouTube. I was watching like channels just going over the spoilers, bro. And yeah, I'm glad Hikari's finally revealed. Yeah.